Welcome in to the NESN Kickoff, NESN Bets Kickoff Show. Travis Thomas here with my man Sam Panayotovich in the PNC studio. And Sammy P, I got to tell you, a buddy of mine sent me a text this morning complaining. He's like, I don't really like tonight's Monday Night Football matchup. I don't care about this game. I'm like, there it is. It only took 4 weeks for you to complain after we sat here all offseason, all summer long, missing football, jonesing for football, and then my boy had the nerve to complain about this matchup. I like this matchup tonight.
He must not be a gambler. Because you could find a lot of things inside this game.
Yes.
We're looking at a market now that is telling us Saquon Barkley probably doesn't play. That has explained the movement. Seattle is now a 2 or a 2.5 point favorite on the road against a Giants team that some people think is already dead in the water. I'm not there. You know I'm on the Giants side, especially at 2.5. I think this game should be a pick'em. I love Brian Dable. This feels like one of those empty the clip type games where you're going to see wide receiver passes or fake punts or something. We saw this last season with Dayball in the first week of the season when they played the Titans. They're down 7 on the road. It's his first game. They score a touchdown. He goes for 2.
That's right.
They win the game, set the tone. I think you're going to see something in this game where Dayball is going to make a crafty, calculated decision that will change the course of the game. I just have that gut feeling about it.
Okay, I do not dislike that take. However, there's another coach on the other sideline as well who's decorated himself and Pete Carroll. And I think what we're going to see tonight is a true chess match between both of these coaches. Listen, I'm on the Seahawks here. I took them on the money line minus 130. You see now it's minus 140, so it's even juicier. But I didn't want to mess around with the points because I agree with you. 2.5, I'm not that comfortable here. I mean, this could be a 1-point game. That's why I just stayed on the money line earlier in the week. In fact, when this opened, I saw Seahawks +1. So to your point, feels like a pick'em type of game, and I like the coaching matchup here. But I'm on the Seahawks side of things because I can't believe I'm saying it out loud, but I trust Geno Smith. And I trust Geno Smith certainly more so than I do Daniel Jones. Geno Smith right now playing well, and we'll get to player props in a minute. But Geno Smith's playing well. Seahawks have won 2 in a row. We know he has weapons on the outside with the receivers. He has 2 capable running backs. I'm on the Seahawks here. Let's talk about this total, 46.5. Do you have a lean either way? I know you're pro-Giants. Does that mean you lean to the under?
If it's a chess match, it's probably an under.
Okay.
Right? And you notice it's just under one of the most key totals in the NFL, 47.
Right.
There's a reason this is 46.5 and not 47.5.
Yeah.
So I sort of lean to the under at 46.5, 23-20, 2017. I'm not really impressed with either offense. We know Seattle has weapons, Metcalf, Lockett, Smith and Jigba, Kenneth Walker, but the offensive line has been very up and down the last couple of years in Seattle. They have 2 rookies at tackle. I think this is I think we see more punts than touchdowns.
Okay.
So lean under, but again, this line has been sort of all over the place. We saw the Giants -1 a week ago, like Monday, Tuesday. And now Seattle's -2.5. And I don't think the jump is that justified. And we know running backs aren't worth a lot to the line.
Yeah.
Are we telling the nation right now or the New England area that Saquon is worth -1 to +2.5? Like, he's just not worth that much. Andrew Thomas not going to play either for the Giants. But I think these teams are closer than the market says.
Yeah, I think it's a combo platter. I think with Saquon, the offensive line having issues, all that goes into account. But either way, that's why I just stayed on the money line earlier before it was -140 like it is now. Let's get into some player props. We'll start with the Seahawks. Geno Smith, 257.5 passing yards, 1.5 passing touchdowns, 11.5 rush yards. I mean, a guy like him, he's not going to run. He's not fleet of foot to begin with. I think I'll stay away from the passing yards here with him. Look, he's efficient, right? It's not like Geno goes out there and chucks it all over the place. I would possibly be interested in the 1.5 passing touchdowns. It's probably a pass for Geno for me tonight. I'm on Kenneth Walker III, though. Rushing yards, 64.5, over. 11.5 receiving yards, over. He doesn't get the props for it, literally and figuratively here, but he is an option out of the backfield to catch. We see him do that. My favorite play for him, though, Sammy P, is an anytime touchdown. A little juiced at -130, but that's where I'm going with Kenneth Walker. He is their ultimate weapon to me.
You're in the Walker waters?
I am.
Tonight.
I always
It makes sense, and Pete's going to give him the ball. We know
Right.
Pete wants to run, establish that run, and then take the shots down the field to guys like Tyler Lockett. And that's the receiver I want to talk about because numerically he is 15 yards lower than DK Metcalf on the prop. Metcalf at 67.5.
Yep.
And then you have Lockett at 52.5. Tyler Lockett can get 40 or 50 on one pop. And if they can get the play action going, Metcalf is their number one, but on play action, when you pull the safety down, Lockett is that guy that gets right down the seam and catches the home run ball.
Right.
I mean, we've seen him catch 60 and 70-yard touchdowns in his career. Multiple.
Yeah.
Because he's that home run hitter. And I think that 52.5 is very appetizing to go over.
Yeah, I like that too. The defense doesn't put the same type of emphasis on him that they do DK as well. So Lockett usually is there, the veteran player, to make the plays. As I read through those Geno numbers, it's a stay away from me. I imagine, even though you like Lockett because of the home run hitting ability, you're staying away from Geno.
I actually circled on my sheet. I circled 1.5 passing touchdowns, put an arrow up. I don't love it.
Yeah.
If you made me bet a Geno prop,
Same.
I'd bet 2 touchdowns. And we'll talk about another Seahawk prop a little bit later. I heard we have some questions.
We do. All right, we'll get to that at the end. So if you send a question in, first of all, thank you. Secondly, we're coming to you. Let's go to Giants player props now.
Right.
I mean, Daniel Jones, 232.5 passing yards, 1.5 passing touchdowns for him as well. 36.5 rushing yards. That's where you pique my interest. When it comes to Daniel Jones, I usually stay away from everything with him, but rushing yards, you can always interest me, and I'm interested again tonight because this isn't exactly the Legion of Boom defensively for Seattle, but they are a young, opportunistic, upstart defense. They're hungry. I could see him running for his life, especially with all the issues on the offensive line. They may need Daniel Jones to run in this game, especially without Saquon.
Well, one of our questions, actually, if we can just go there,
Yeah, go ahead.
is from Tom. Tom asks, are there any player props on the Giants offense, worth betting? And, there are a lot of unproven characters in this cast.
Yeah.
Especially with Barkley likely out. So where does the offense come from? And the big name, the magnetic name, if I could speak, is Darren Waller. People like to bet on Darren Waller.
Yeah.
But I went down the board a little bit in terms of numbers, and I found their wide receiver 2, Isaiah Hodgins.
Oh.
Hodgins. 23.5 is his yardage prop.
All right.
And we saw him catch 40 yards in one game. He had 24 in the second game. Last game against San Francisco, they didn't use him. And San Francisco is in the backfield all game anyway.
Yeah.
So, what the Giants did against San Francisco isn't predictive to what they'll do tonight.
Right.
I think Hodgins is going to break this if he gets 2 or 3 catches.
I like that.
Over 23.5. Most guys get around 9-10 yards a catch. They've targeted him 4 times and 5 times in the 2 games that weren't against San Francisco. So I like the opportunity there. It's not going to take a lot. It's not a Justin Jefferson 89.5.
Right.
You need to catch 8 or 9 balls. This is a very simple bet, over 23.5 on Isaiah Hodgins.
Shout outs to you, Tom. Great question. Look, for me, I just gave it Daniel Jones over 36.5 rushing yards. But let me ask you about Darren Waller, because you brought him up. Look, 48.5 receiving yards. Obviously, you could be
a lot higher than 23.5.
It is.
Right?
You could be in the market also for an anytime touchdown for him as well. Listen, you're missing Saquon. That is your playmaker. Waller, right now, as it stands, is healthy, okay? We know these things can change with him.
Yeah, that's the problem with Waller.
That's a problem with Waller, but, would you go over on receiving yards or an anytime touchdown at all with him?
He's got the talent to get over this every single game.
He does.
My concern is that I've bet on him in the past twice, and he's either rolled an ankle or slammed his head on the turf. He's one of those guys that just finds his way on the boo-boo list.
Yeah, he does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
I do.
I am just from a personal standpoint, I think he's a very good player when he's on the field, but my issue is I bet him and he can't stay on the field when I bet him.
Yeah.
But he could easily catch 6 balls for 50 yards
Sure.
and go over that number.
And get a touchdown.
Sure.
Right. Yeah, that's why I asked, right? Because I'm in lockstep with you. He's a guy at this point I just stay away from, but you know it's coming while he's healthy. We'll see how long that lasts. All right, so for the record, heads up. I'm on the Seahawks. He's on the Giants. Now, let's get to some more viewer questions because in addition to Tom, how about this? At G-Men Rule. You want to know where they're going with this game? High value pick for anytime touchdown tonight. Who you like?
Okay, so G-Men Rule won't like this answer. I look at Noah Fant.
Oh.
Big tight end for the Seahawks.
Okay.
He caught 4 touchdowns last year. The number on him is 5-1. Okay?
All right.
So if they can get the ground game going and the Giants are committing to Kenneth Walker, who's open, the tight end. I also went down the board a little bit and looked at Noah Fant to score 2 touchdowns.
Wait a minute.
It's 50-1. Is it going to happen? Probably not. But Kenneth Walker to get 2 touchdowns is 5-1.
I don't hate
Noah
that.
Fant to get 2 touchdowns is 50-1.
Oh.
It's not impossible.
No, it's not.
And it shouldn't be 50-1.
I don't hate the Kenneth Walker play. That's where I'm going, but I went anytime touchdowns. Hey, forget the 2 touchdowns. Just give me 1. I took him for -130. It's juicy, but he's the bell cow. He's the guy. Pete Carroll wants to run the ball and play good defense. Check. This kid can do it all. Plus now they spell him a little bit with Zach Charbonnet. So I think Kenneth Walker gets into the end zone. That's for me, but I don't hate yours at all with Fant.
The Fant one's not bad at
That
5-1.
is not bad.
Your
All right.
usual starting tight end is like 250, 3-1.
Right. And he's a capable guy. All right, Melissa sends in, more likely to go over their receiving props. Oh, this is a good one. Lockett or Metcalf?
We already talked about this.
Like Lockett.
I like Lockett's over because he has that home run ability,
Yep.
and he's very streaky. What I mean by that is he can get down that field in a hurry. And the attention that Metcalf gets, not only from opposing defenses, but the bettors love DK Metcalf.
Of course.
They've jacked this number up.
Yeah.
So to put Metcalf at 67.5 and Lockett at 52.5, I don't think the divide is that big.
Yeah.
I'm going to take – they could both go over, obviously.
Right.
I'm going to take Lockett, though, at 52.5 on the over.
You know, I think I agree with you. And DK, in a way, is a little frustrating. So I can only imagine how Seahawks fans, or if you have him in fantasy, how you feel, because this guy's built like Megatron, right? But he doesn't really give you those numbers. Now, you could sit here and you could say, oh, it's Geno or it's the scheme or whatevs. But he doesn't give you the return on investment that you would think he would, where Lockett is always undervalued. So I agree with you. I'd go Lockett here as well. But we say that, and this could be the game. DK goes off for 200 receiving yards.
How about a 21-20 Seahawks final?
You know what?
You win.
I win, and you
I
cover.
win.
You heard it here first, folks. On NESN Bets Kickoff, Travis Thomas, Sam Panayotowicz going heads up, but we could both win. Come on.